Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Maxwell Faulkner, and welcome into Are You Kidding Me? Here on a Real Talking Sports podcast. Are you kidding me, Senator Lindsey Williams? I mean, really? It's astounding to me that no matter how many facts or instances and even an entire election where Republicans won all the swing states, including your state of Pennsylvania, Senator Williams, and also the Republicans won the popular vote, that these narcissistic elected officials continue to try and push for a very small minority of people, very, very tiny amount of people compared to the majority of people, which in fact is 77.3 million people who agree that men should not be competing in women's sports, that these narcissistic elected officials are still pushing that men should be in women's sports. Yep, here we go again. Let's listen to this senator from Pennsylvania talk about why men should be allowed in women's sports.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies. For what reason, other than political gain, are we spending time and taxpayer dollars on a completely made-up issue? There are 8 million high school athletes across the country, and maybe 160 of them are trans. This is the 5th time we are voting on this bill that targets less than 0.002% of high school athletes. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. Participating in sports gave me the confidence, time management skills, and ability to work collaboratively that led me to run for office. Absolutely nothing about having a trans teammate or competitor would have taken those things away from me.
Senator Williams, you said female bodies are just as strong as male bodies. Huh. Are we serious right now? Have you ever looked at the men's and women's world records and compared them? Well, we all know that answer, considering that this is a politician who claims to know it all without looking up any facts. Well, here's some facts for you, Senator Williams. Let's check out transgender Ann Andress, who broke the women's powerlifting records. By the way, Senator Williams, Ann Andress lifted 210 kilograms, which is 462.97 pounds more than that of the actual biological woman who came in second. Ann Andress even competed in 11 women's weightlifting competitions over the past 4 years and came in first in 9 of those competitions. In fact, after Andress broke the women's powerlifting record by, once again, 463 pounds, he even had to brag about it online to everyone. Let's check out this narcissist spewing nonsense.
Welcome to Ann Says Something Controversial. Why is women's bench so bad? I mean, not compared to me. We all know that I'm a tranny freak, so that doesn't count. And no, we're not talking about Mackenzie Lee. She's got little T-Rex arms and she's like 400 pounds of chest muscle, apparently. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competition for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad. My son, he weighs 45 pounds. His max bench is like 33. I'm legit seeing some women in competition who are doing something like 50 pounds. And I just don't understand it.
So even though this dude was breaking women's records and then mocked women for being weaker than him, You have the nerve to speak for all women and say this is okay because you played sports back in high school in the 90s when this wasn't even being discussed because we all knew what a woman was? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. Senator Lindsey Williams and the liberals, such as she, actually think Andres is a woman because he said he was. Well, luckily, we have guys like Ava Silverberg, who was willing to call himself a girl to prove a point to the world that just because you call yourself a woman doesn't mean you are a woman, and it doesn't give you the right to join women's sports and break all their records. Here is AV breaking Ann Andres' world record in bench press. A.B. Silverberg was a coach for women's weightlifting, was tired of seeing a man take away medals from the women who dedicated their lives to the sport, then showed everyone that he could not only beat Ann Andres' record, but any woman's record if he claimed to be a woman. Ava beat Andres' record by nearly 100 pounds. After Ava torched Ann Andres' record, Ann had something to say about Ivy breaking that record. Let's check it out.
Folks, just a super quick update. Yes, somebody did show up at the meet today with malicious intent. And you know what? It was nothing. It was just entirely ignored. People lifted. I volunteered. Everyone was happy that I was there. And it really struck me that maybe my participation isn't necessarily fair. I mean, there's science, whatever, but people welcome me because I'm actually nice to people. I show up and I try to make everyone happy. And I think that matters a hell of a lot more than people give it credit for. People want me there because I'm actually nice to people. Just a little thought. I'm all good. And the CPU will continue.
Are you kidding me? Did Andres just say everyone likes him because he's nice to them? Do I really need to show him mocking women again after he broke their records? Okay, well, you all asked for it. Here it is again.
Why is women's bench so bad? I mean, not compared to me. We all know that I'm a tranny freak, so that doesn't count. And no, we're not talking about Mackenzie Lee. She's got little T-Rex arms and she's like 400 pounds of chest muscle, apparently. I mean, standard bench in powerlifting competition for women, I literally don't understand why it's so bad. My son, he weighs 45 pounds. His max bench is like 33. I'm legit seeing some women in competition who are doing something like 50 pounds. And I just don't understand it.
Moving on. So, Senator Lindsey Williams, you also said that female bodies are just as fast as male bodies. Bold statement there, Senator. Bold statement. I wish you had some evidence or facts to back up your claim. But don't worry. Don't worry. I got you, Senator. I got you. I did the research for you. Here's the United States women's national team facing off against old retired men in their 50s. Let's check it out.
And Rob Macklin, 1, you should be here right now with your squad. 2, your team about to go down in North Carolina. Let's go! Let's go! USA! USA!
Again, you got to be careful. There's a shot and keeper. Nice spin move here by Lloyd. Lloyd! Another shot and a player's running off of him. It's a big ask, but well, there's Trundle able to turn with the left, and Trundle
so far so good in this game.
Trundle again diving, and then Murkoff trying to move around, and that's going to be Murkoff takes that shot with perfect contact. Jarvis, there it is, 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S.
Did we all see 12-0? Yeah, I saw that too. I'm sure Wrexham AFC owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney were pleased to see their men destroy one of the top women's football teams in the world. Rob McElhenney, real quick, shout out to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Literally, it is one of the funniest shows ever written. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you. What some of you might be thinking, maybe those guys were just stronger. Oh, oops. Sorry, Senator Williams. I forgot you said women are just as strong as men. Oh, jeez. Whoops. But for the sake of argument, how about we lighten the men's strength so we can focus on speed, okay? Here's the United States women's national team taking on 15-year-old boys.
Headed by Fletcher. She took a shot right there. The rebound, and there's a goal. The first goal of the game scored by Brendan Lambie. 16th minute inside, and this is going to be ricocheted into the net for the second goal of the game for Sayward FC.
Broadwick, 22-year-old striker, played the first few minutes of the game.
And this corner is going to be a header in for the third goal of the game. That's headed in by Lawrence Jackson to play against. Little flick.
We need to get back in that target score time, so we're going to look to keep the intensity high, get shots on target, and score a goal like that.
Here is the counter again, the step through the shot, another shot, and there it is! Game over, Sayward FC, as Brendan Lambie scores the game winner.
5-0 below. 15-year-old boys on a club team beat the supposed best women's football players in the world. I guess we should start talking about equal pay in women's soccer again, huh, Megan Rapinoe? Senator Williams, let's stay on the topic of women being just as fast as men. Here's a list of the world records in track between men and women. In the 100-meter run, Usain Bolt ran it in 9.58 seconds, while Florence Griffith Joyner ran it in 10.49 seconds, which is 0.91 seconds faster by Usain Bolt. Well, that was pretty close. Oh, don't worry. Let's just keep reading the facts as we go down each competition. In the 200-meter run, Usain Bolt ran it in 19.19 seconds, while Florence Griffith Joyner ran it in 21.34 seconds. That's 2.15 seconds faster. In the 400-meter run, Wade van Nierik ran it in 43.03 seconds, while Marita Koch ran it in 47.60 seconds. That's 4.03 seconds faster. In the 800-meter run, David Rudisha ran it in 1 minute and 40.91 seconds, while Jarmila Kratochvila ran it in 1 minute and 53.28 seconds. That's 12.37 seconds faster. In the 1500-meter run, Hisham El Garaj ran it in 3 minutes and 26 seconds, while Faith Kipyeong ran it in 3 minutes and 49.11 seconds. That's 23.11 seconds faster. In the marathon run, Kelvin Kiptum ran it in 2 hours and 35 seconds, while Ruth Kiptonick ran it in 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 5 seconds. That's 9 minutes and 30 seconds faster. Senator Lindsey Williams of Pennsylvania, do these world records and videos help you to see the difference between men and women in sports? Still no? Oh, jeez. You still think men should be able to compete in women's sports because you believe there's hardly any transgender athletes competing in the first place? Haven't you seen the United Nations study called Violence Against Women and Girls in Sports? Where they found, and I quote, over 600 female athletes in more than 400 competitions have lost more than 890 medals in 29 different sports. And this is where you come back, Senator Williams, and say, psh, 890 medals? That's hardly any. Come on now. What are we even debating? Senator Williams, we are not only debating keeping women's sports intact for only women to compete with women, but we are fighting for the safety of women in their locker rooms and bathrooms. You see, Senator, if we just allow any man who claims they are a man to compete in women's sports, You are now opening up a broad perspective of pedophiles and sexual predators to be allowed to come into the women's locker rooms and bathrooms because they claim to be that sex. By stopping men from competing in women's sports, you then stop men from changing, watching, and, worst case scenario, assaulting women in their safe spaces, which is their bathroom and locker rooms. Why aren't we ever talking about trans men in men's locker rooms? It's because there are more men claiming to be women than there are women claiming to be men. Also, the women claiming to be men, the trans men, understand that they have no chance of competing against male athletes in sports. While trans women, on the other hand, the men claiming to be women, understand that they have an advantage over women in sports because they have more testosterone, a higher lung capacity, larger bone density, and larger muscles in general. Senator Lindsey Williams, you are fighting for men to dominate women in sports. Whether you truly don't understand what you are fighting for, or it's because you are so far left that you forgot about common sense, understand that the truth will always prevail. There are men and there are women. Men have an advantage in sports because of the biology men were born with, which once again includes more testosterone, a higher lung capacity, larger bone density, and larger muscles in general. Lastly, Senator Williams, here is a picture of 14 and 15-year-old boys beating women's records, not girls, women's records in track and field. Notice every event was beaten by a high schooler. A grown woman who has worked her tail off every day of her life to compete at the highest level to beat women's world records is being beaten by 14 and 15-year-old boys. These are facts, Senator Williams. It's either you jump on board the common sense train or you stay in Looneyville, which even the original 1930 to 1969 Looney Tunes decided to leave Warner Brothers because they saw how crazy and woke it had gotten. People of Pennsylvania, since the majority of you have stayed on the side of common sense, the next commonsensical thing to do for your state and to protect women in sports, the locker rooms, and bathrooms is to vote this woke, far-left feminist out of office and put in someone who is on the side of sanity.
There it is, 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S. Again, the step through the shot, another shot, and there it is. Game over, Sayward FC as Brendan Lambie scores the game winner.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies.